Today we're going to be talking about greatest common factor, also known as GCF. Is a factor. A factor is a number that goes into another number. An example would be to maybe list the factors of the number 24. So when you're listing the factors of the number 24, you're thinking, what number goes into the number 24? And if you know your multiplication facts, you'll know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24 all go into the number 24. Those are called factors. So if 1 goes into 24, then I say, well, how many times does 1 go into 24? It goes in there 24 times. So 1 times 24 is 24. And then I have 2 times 12. It's also 24. 3 times 8 is 24. And 4 times 6. So if one number is a factor of 24, it has to have a partner. It can't just be one number, unless it's like 25 and you have like 5 times 5. Which would be 5. This common factor, or G. Let's break down this term. Greatest means the highest possible number. So the biggest number. So we just did 24, the factors of 24. What was the biggest factor of 24? 24. 24 would be the greatest possible number that goes into 24. But if we stop there, we would get ourselves in trouble because we don't know what the word common means yet, do we? Common means it is shared. When you have something in common with another person, you may share the same likes, dislikes, hair color, etc. And in order to share something, you have to have at least 2, right? We already discussed that factor is a number which goes into another number. If I am talking about the greatest common factor, or GCF, which you'll mainly see it written as, so you need to make sure you know what that means, I am talking about the largest factor that 2 or more numbers share. Let's take a closer. For the factors of 2 numbers. And just a reminder, factor, a number that goes into another number. 15 and 30. I want you to think about all to 15. And on your paper, write down. We know that it's what? 1 times. 2. No, 1 times 15 equals 15. So factors right there, don't we? You go into 15? 3 and what? We now have 4 factors, don't we? Does 4 go into it? And now we're back to 5, haven't we? We're right. 3, 5, and factors of 15. They all go into 15. Just look at the factor number, you more factors, unless it's like 29. 29 with 2 factors. It always has 2 factors. 1, right? Number 30. 2, 3, 5, 10, 15. 30 is the greatest factor listed. It is not that both numbers need to not be 3, even though it's a common factor. It is not the greatest. So let's look at these. They both share the factor of 15. They both share a factor of 1. They both share a factor of 3. They both share the factor of 5. But what's the biggest factor, the biggest number? 15. Off there. It would be 15. Factor that both numbers moved. Shortcut. I like shortcuts. This shortcut's great because it'll teach you how to make equivalent fractions. You'll use it when you do GCF. You'll use it when you do LCM. It's just a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful thing. I love it. Find the GCF of 12 and 16. Make sure you write down every step. This is where you need to write it. First, ask yourself, what factor goes into both 12 and 16? Well, there's several numbers that go into both 12 and 16, right? Okay, you see how we have an upside down division sign? And both factors are inside there? That's what you need to do. 2 goes into both of these numbers. 4 also goes into both of these numbers. It does not matter which factor you decide to use. My rule of thumb is start with 2, 3, or 5 because they're easier to divide by, and you're not sitting there staring saying, let's see, what's the biggest number I can get to go in these two numbers? I can automatically tell that 2 goes into both those because they both end in even numbers, so I can just start with 2, right? But if you start with 4, it won't change the answer. So we have 12 and 16, and we're going to put 2 on the outside. And even though the sign's upside down, we're still going to divide. Divide both numbers inside the box by the number on the outside. Write your answer below. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. And 16 divided by 2 is 8. What 2 numbers will I be writing below the line? 6 and 8. See how that works? Ask yourself if both numbers below the box still have a common factor besides 1. 6 and 8 have a common factor of 2. 2 goes into both those, correct? So we're going to make an upside down division sign. We call it the upside down wedding cake. 2 goes on the outside. Raise your hand if you can tell me what's going to go below 6. 3. What's going to go below 8? 4, because I'm 3 and 4. Ask yourself if both numbers below the box still have a common factor besides 1. 3 and 4. Does anything go into them besides 1? I mean, 2 goes into 4. Does it go into 3? No. So the only factor they share now is 1. Find the GCF by multiplying the outside numbers. So 2 times 2 is? The GCF of 12 and 16 is 4. Now you could have probably written those numbers out, and done the list of 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. You could have done that. But when you get into larger numbers, you're going to appreciate this shortcut. Okay? Because you would be listing factors all day. And if you start with small numbers, you don't even have to worry about dealing with large numbers when you divide it out. Remember, all you have to do is write the problem down. Another GCF of 15. Once again, we put all inside the division sign. Start with the numbers 2. Which one would be the number that would go into those 3 numbers? 5. And you do it again. by 5 is 3. 30 divided by 5, 6. 75 divided by 5. Okay, to maybe work. Yep. Math, what you would say is 5 goes into 7 time. 6 to your 5. 15. Look and see if you're right. Yep. Okay, 2, 3, or 5. Go into all 3 of them. 3 goes into 1 goes into 6. 3 goes into 15. All 3 of these have anything else in 1, 2, and 5? Do all 3 of those numbers? So that means now, and side numbers, 5 times 3 is, what is the greatest common factor of 50 and 75? Into LCM today.